Okay, I think we're live on YouTube. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Vic, and welcome to the Weekly Outlook. Glad to see so many of you here. So let's start. As usual, we will start with the account every week. So again, I'll repeat. Every week we'll be showing you this account, and this I'm actually doing this as a way of showing you how I trade and how my method works and the results you can get. Plus, as a way of also filtering the online scammers and those people who are there just to steal your money, basically. Before I start, I want to answer a question that I get very often, and something that I actually watched a webinar on. I accidentally stumbled onto a webinar, I think was on my YouTube channel, and I opened it. They have these pop-ups show you webinars you may be interested in. And one guy was saying Forex is a scam, basically. He had this whole webinar that Forex itself is a scam. I got interested in it because I'm not sure what he meant by it. I know there's a lot of scammers in Forex. We all know that. And that is why we are trying to filter it. We are trying to, for you to know who is a scammer from who is real, all you have to do is demand that they show you their account. If they don't, well, then you just ignore them, right, basically. And we should get this message out all over. We should make this video viral so people can see it, right, basically. So what he actually meant by Forex was a scam was he's saying that, you can't trade Forex and make money, right? That is his theory. It can't happen. Well, maybe he couldn't do it, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Because you are following me here, and I've done it many times, and I'm showing you that it's possible to do. Is it easy to do? No, of course it's not. Are there many people scamming you, selling you signals, selling you all kinds of stuff, including courses, and so that doesn't work? Of course, there's a lot of them. You know how I know? I know a lot of them buy my course, and then they go back and, they didn't even train properly. They're not even winning traders. And then they just go back and start selling courses, selling signals, selling all kinds of stuff while they're hiding in our group, because we don't allow that in the group, and they hide, right? We know that. Even this week, we found a new one who is doing that, right? So we have to prevent you from getting trapped by these scammers as well, because these are not really good traders. So all you have to do is demand from these guys, hey, show me your account. Let's see what you trade, how you trade, and let's see if it's working, right? You have a system. You're telling me your system works. Just show me that that system is working. Because if you can't show that the system is working, then you're probably one of the scammers out there. Is that very simple? Right? So I've been showing you this account, and I will show you every week. We'll keep doing this, whether it's up or down. I'm not saying they have to be a winning trader, but at least they have to have a live account. Most of them don't even have an account. I can tell you from the few of them that bought my course, and I can see they're trying to sell stuff on YouTubes and all over, and, selling signals and all this stuff. I know who they are. They're not successful traders, and that these guys are just trying to scam people into making some money from them, basically. You subscribe for $50 a month, and that's it. That's their money, right? Which, okay, let's see what they trade. So I'm going to show you my account. This is the $500,000 live account. This is not my personal account. This is the account that I trade. It belongs to one of my investors. And as you can see, we took it from November. This is the December. This is the January. That is the February. And we're still in the start of February. So we are up on the account itself. You can see here, this is when the account was funded fully. The first fund came in 250 and then 250. You can see that. 252, actually, it's 250 came in. The same day I made a trade and we made 2,000. And then 250 came in. That's 500K. And the account is, it has 621.7. It's actually 622. I think Friday afternoon when this when this actually came out, from when the real trade was closed, had some discrepancy, but it's at 622. That's $122,000 in 3 months, probably. It started trading on the 15th of November to about the 15th of February. November, December, January, February would be three months, right? Plus 1 week, probably. As you can see, in November, it was in drawdown, because that is when I start clicking a lot of trades. And those trades were mostly silver trades and trades that went with the drawdown. And then you can see the results in December, because I trade long term, right? I don't trade daily, which means I don't have to open the trade and close it the same day. I keep trades for weeks and sometimes months. So you can see the results after a certain time, right? I would go through the trades I had last week and the trades, this week I did, so you will have an idea how I trade too, right? And this is what you should demand from everybody who comes out there and say, hey, I'm a pro trader. Okay, I believe you and I trust you're a pro. Now let's see your pro account, right? Your $1,000 or $2,000 pro account, if that's what they're going to show you. If they show you $500,000, then great. So let's go trading, right? This is the count. You only see my picture. Then you have the people log on and log off and log on back again. That's your side. Everybody good. So this is the account. And you can remember last week, the account was at this level. It was at 585,000. And this one was in a drawdown. This one was actually 565, I think, right? So the trades itself were in drawdown, but the account balance was at 6, which means money that you have booked already was there, right? Money that was booked already was 585. This week, money that is booked is 622,000. That's just about 20, how much percent? You guys calculate it, right? In 3 months, I think 25+% in 3 months, somewhere there, I think. We're close to that, right? Somewhere there. You can calculate it, doesn't matter really, but it shows you the results of 3 months trading, right? 122,000 from a $500,000 account. This is where we are. Most of the trades are closed. This is the only open trade CAD. You see, this is showing a minus, but I think this is probably a little wrong because it should be plus about 100. The account is showing you this. It should be plus about $100 actually, right? So why is it like that? Well, because I think when the broker closed, I don't know how that discrepancy come up. I'll show you that trade. So let's start with the trades that I was in last week. I was in silver trade. All of you remember that. And I told you I will never close a silver trade for minus. I always close them for positive. I actually made very good on this one. So my sell, let me go into 1 hour so you can see it clearer. My buy, and I only buy silver. As you know, I don't sell silver. My buy in silver was somewhere, I think in here, somewhere in there. We were in a drawdown. We went back, and that's profit, right? Clear profit. Close the trade exactly at that blue line. Now, there's a specific reason we closed that trade there. It's all based on wave analysis, and that's exactly why we closed the trade exactly at that point. All my traders who were with me in the trading room at that moment closed their trade exactly at that point, because that's what we did, because we knew there was a big correction coming back. So we decided to take profit there. And well, the sell, I'm not in the sell, and I don't think I'll sell it. Most likely, the only reason I will sell it is if I think they will retest this low, and that is possible. It is possible that they can come here, retest this low, and then take off. That's a possibility. It's not, we don't have enough information to confirm that as yet. What happens this week in here will tell us if there's a bigger consolidation for more up, then we will all be buying again. I hope by the time it gets to the top, we will double the account. That's not going to happen this week, but if it happens, we will double the account, that's for sure, only in silver. As you can see, silver from here to here, and silver from this point, I started buying silver here. To this point, we already made $80-something thousand only in silver. If you look at that, only in silver, you would see account. And best trades, this 84,000, right? This is from November, $84,000 only in silver, right? And silver hasn't really even moved anywhere, right? It hasn't really moved because I'm expecting silver to be here. That's the trade you want. So you can take every spot like this and put $84,000 to that. And it will get bigger because the lot size I'm buying is getting bigger. I started with 30, 50, 60. Next lot size I buy will probably be 100,000, the lot size that I buy, right? 60,000, 100,000. So it could only get better. It can't get worse. So what we're looking for here is what happens in here this week. If this makes a bigger correction, all the better for us. If this drops to the low, you can guess I'm putting about 150,000 lot size in here for the upside. So you can guess what's going to happen if it comes lower. It's just going to make my life much better because I'm buying there. So what I need to do is wait patiently until I see the setup that I'm looking for based on the analysis I'm making, and then we will look at that. As it stands right now, short-term sell may be possible, not something I'm interested in, which means I'm expecting this to make a correction. I don't think they'll break the top, but even if they break the top, any pullback is upside. If they don't break the top, you can look for short-term sells going down to the bottom there. At some point, they will tell you whether it's a big correction or whether they're dropping to the low. So you might as well get a sell setup if you're interested in that, right? I really don't like the sell. I have to see a really perfect sell setup, and I have to be sure that sell setup is going to go really far, which means it's going to go to break below, and then I'll probably take it. I'm mostly trading on the buy side of silver. It's pretty easy and it's pretty common sense why, right? It doesn't make a lot of difference. Right? So watch for this. This is the first trade. The second trade I was in, I think, was in a punk CAD, which was upside down. Let me show you that one also. Punk CAD was a option. And if you look at the account again, you would see the next big thing that is making me money is the punk CAD, right? That's the next big money maker right there. And I told you guys the reason I'm going to make a ton of money in that is because of where it is, right? If you look at the daily charts, you can see you can make money. That 11,000 was made in this little spot here. You can actually make a ton of money if this goes where I want it to go, way down to the bottom, and you know it's going to go there. If you don't know that, that's your problem. I know it's going there, right? The question is, it ready to go right now? So we made some money on this thing going up and down. We traded down here. I think you traded down and I bought here. And remember, I was upside down on this one. So I want you to remember what I told you. Don't worry about it. It has to make one more move up. And that's where I'm going to get out for break even. And then I'll get into the sell. I closed the sell here, and then it went back, and I got tagged on the way down on another sell. So why am I looking for the sell? And I will always try to be in a sell now, because at least this is the minimum they have to make. That's the minimum this week. And that would be a very good trade for you guys this week, right? There's a good chance you can see an example of how it works. Here is an impulse, here is a correction, and then look what happened. Here is your impulse, here is your correction. I expect this to come here. That's the minimum I expect of this trade. So if it does that, I'm in the sell. I'm not expecting this to change and go up, right? There's a good chance that they might just come about here and change and go up. If we see that, we'll get out of the trade, but I don't think that is going to happen. I think this is a very nice consolidation there for a drop to this level. Well, from this level, it could either go back and make a new high. There is a very, very high probability for that to happen. And based on the bigger structure, that we will tag the top again before they fall, or they can break straight through. Either way, this thing is going to go down. And that means every sell opportunity you get, you should take one. See? It's that simple. Every sell opportunity you get, you should be in it. So this is the trade. And if this goes where we want it to go, which is here, I think there'll be a competition between silver and punk CAD, which one is going to make the more money. Because punk CAD gives you a lot of money when it moves. Right? So this is the trade we're looking for. What are the probability that this trade is going to do this? You make your wild guess. I know it's going to happen. You can make your wild guess whether you think it's going to happen or not. This is going to happen, guys. It happens over and over and over and over in the charts. This pattern, with this size of consolidation, you don't want to miss it. You know this thing, it consolidated very long, right? But the way I'm looking at it, that consolidation will not repeat this. I'm not expecting them to repeat this 3 years. And guess what? If they repeat that 3 years, I'm making money up and down, both ways. It doesn't matter. If I see this is going to happen, we will sell and buy every time it gets to the top or the bottom, like we're selling from the top right now to go back to the bottom. And if they go back up, we'll buy from the bottom and we'll sell back from the top again. Because that range that they're trading in is pretty big. You can trade it. And then you will get this. This is the trade we are looking for, that move. Out of that correction, which we have here. This is a much lower degree correction, much lower. This was the big correction. See here, that was the higher degree correction. This is a lower degree correction. So I expect this to go. That's a trade you don't want to miss. See? That's it. That's what trading wave analysis is about. Right? And it looks like it's easy to do, but it's not that easy. Let me just warn you guys, it's not that easy if you don't have the knowledge. I have people in my group still struggling to trade, and they've been there for a year. Right? We've had some of them who never even learned the course run away and decide that they're not going to trade. They're going to make money selling you signals because they're in my group. They open some account somewhere else under another name. And then they start selling you signals there, right? Under another name, not under the name they're in my group. But they can't trade. They don't know. They don't even know this stuff properly. They don't even understand this very clearly. They just decide they're going to smart some of you guys out there. So we have to help prevent that. Share this on the internet. Make sure this is on the internet as much as possible. If they can prove they can do it, well, then it's your choice. Right? I don't have a problem, but I don't think you should ever buy signals. And I've tested that many times. Even people in my group, I said, okay, guys, we're all taking this trade now. Like literally 100 people in the room right now with me in the trading room. And I said, okay, everybody buy this right now. 3 hours after I come back, I said, okay, good, time to book profit. How many of you in the trade? If we get 10 people in that trade, that's great. You hardly get 10 people out of 100 people in that trade. Sometimes, very rarely, you get about 20 where the people are very confident. Why they can't take the trade? You have to understand what you're doing before you can take that trade. If you don't know what you're doing, you're trading in the dark, and that's not good. You can't manage that trade properly, right? So it's not good. It's really, really, you have to train yourself to trade if you want to become a serious trader. One more question I want to answer. One guy asked me, what is the definition of success? He wants to join the course and he say, well, I only have a $10,000 account. Would I be successful? I said, I have no idea. He was like, what do you mean? I'm joining your course. How come you can't promise me I'll be successful? I made it very simple to him. I have no idea who you are. Maybe you're not capable of learning. Maybe you're not capable of applying what you learn. Maybe your ability for risk is very low, which means every time you put the trade on, you start to panic. It doesn't matter whether you put one micro on or not. I don't know you and I don't know your ability to trade. I can't promise you success. What I can promise you is we will teach you, we will guide you, and we will help you, and we will train you until we can see that you're successful. If at some point we realize you're not a trader, which means you're not built to trade, you can never trade, you just can't handle this, we'll probably let you know, right? But promising somebody that you will make them successful, only a scammer will do that. Only someone who have no idea what trading is about can tell you, I will make you a successful trader. He can never promise you that because he cannot do it. He cannot deliver in it. All the traders who are successful in my group are successful because they took the opportunity to be successful. They did the hard work to be successful. It's not about me. I give them the right knowledge and I give them the right guidance. You have to put the work in. You have to do all the hard work before you can become successful. If you can't do that, you will never be successful. It doesn't matter who is training you and who is teaching you and what knowledge you have. You have to put the hard work in. You have to do the work. You have to test it, back testing, keep doing the analysis, keep training, practicing, and all of that. We can guide you. We can't make you successful. You have to make yourself successful. Of course, if you get the wrong knowledge and if you have the wrong knowledge and you have the wrong guidance and you have the wrong person training you, you're likely going to fail. It's very simple. It's up to the traders to decide. We get the message out to them. My job is to get the message out to you, and you do whatever you want with it. You make the choice, right? Let's go. I think I've answered the 2 questions I wanted today. Help share these videos. Let's go. So you see the account. We will do this every week. We'll show you every week how this analysis works, how you can trade it, and how you can make money. These are live accounts, so you don't have to worry. You can see it. You can verify it. You can do whatever you want if you need to, right? Let's go now. Look at trades for that you can get. Dollar index. Still in consolidation. And there's still a chance that this is going to come more deep here, right? There's a good chance they'll come deeper. After that, we'll probably expect more. It might even make a few more consolidations. It depends on how the pattern develops, right? I don't think this one is going to drop far, neither do I think this one is going to take off. We might still be in this consolidation for a while. So that means we can expect the majors to also do the same, which is why I think silver might retest the low also, right? Same here. We'll watch it when it gets to this level. There's a good chance it's going to get there. And then there's a good chance it's going to come back here. And then there's a good chance they can do that. And then probably do this. Is it going to do it that way? We don't know. That pattern could change by next week. So let's go in the 4-hour. As I think right now, I think we will expect this to go up here. This is your trade for this week if that happens. And at this point, you will have to take profit and move your stop very tightly because they can retest the low. Now, if this breaks out here, which is rare, I don't see the pattern whereby that should break out there. But if it does, we'll look for an expanding flat and then we'll relook at the whole structure, right? But I don't think they're going to break this stop to make an expanding flat. There's likely you're going to get a running flat. So you might just get something here. You could get another one there. You probably could get another one here. You could get another one there. You could get a top and then you could go. What would we look for all of this? Each leg is developing, each wave, lower degree wave developing will tell us how the bigger structure will form. So when you're in a consolidation, you cannot say you know that it's going to be 1, 2, 3 or simple ABC. It's not right. That's not the way it's going to move, right? So watch this here. 1 hour, look for a buy setup, right? Short term, it's probably going to drop a little more, but you're looking for a buy setup. We don't have a sell setup here as yet. The whole structure will have to change before we get a sell setup. That will probably take a couple of days. So maybe in the middle of the week, if there's a change in structure, we might get a sell setup. There's no way I can let you know, but my group will know about it. Punk, definitely looking for a buy, right? You can already see that. It's going to give you a short-term buy. I don't think we will break this top, but you can take it just in case they do break that top. If they break the top, we'll be looking for an expanding flat on the daily and then downside. It's still downside. That has not changed. It's only the daily is going to have, instead of a running flat, it's going to have an expanding flat. All right, so let's go. If you guys keep all your questions after the end of the webinar, I will answer them. I'm not answering questions now, and I haven't read the questions you sent. We will deal with everything just after the webinar, so we don't have a lag in the, Let's go. Aussie, you have to watch this. It did break the structure as we expected. It didn't break the low, but that doesn't mean we cannot have a contracting flat and Aussie go right back up. Right? We have contracting flats as part of patterns. Now, we also cannot say that this one is a contracting flat because that's hard. So what I'll be looking for is one more drop to retest this low, break the low. That would be the trade of the week if that happened. For this week, most likely that's all you get. And then we will probably look for this to go back up. Right? After we've got a 1, 2, 3, we would look for this to go back up. So all of that could happen this week, the drop and the upside. If you're in the sell and they go lower, not expecting this to go lower, but if they do go lower, which means not only just break the low, but drop all the way here, you want to take profit because after that, we're going up. I don't think they should break this low. There is no structure that is forming right now that shows they should break that low. If they break the low, we'll make a much bigger running flat, which I don't see in the making right now. We don't have enough information on this pattern. But for this to drop lower here, definitely possible. Break that low, complete this correction, and then go back up. You see, there was a correction here too. So there's a correction here, and that's normal. New Zealand, it's going sideways. You probably want to stay out of this because it will go more sideways. And that means, depending on what pattern they're going to make, it could go both up and down right now. And right now, there isn't a defined, there isn't even a setup in it to trade. There isn't really a setup. So you just have to stay out of it for now. Sometime during the week, there will be a good setup on the New Zealander. Yen, I think we'll probably get some more downside. We should retest this low. If they go like this, expect to get a running flat. If they drop sharper, break the low and then go back up, it will be a regular flat. But it's upside. It's just consolidating within that there, right? They will likely retest this low before they go. Like I said again, if they go higher, they just do this and go higher. We will get 1, 2, 3, and then up. We will not retest the low. That'll become a running flat. And that's a very common pattern in yen. It's not like you don't see it. We see it very often in the yen especially. So you can look for that. This might be difficult to trade if you're new in the wave analysis and you don't know how to understand when a pattern is completing itself and all of that. This will be difficult for you to trade. But if you understand it, it's a very, very easy chart to trade. Right? Swiss, a little more down before we go up. We will still complete that to the upside. But right now, there's a possibility that this will come a little more down. We did break out of that structure. Any buy, if they do tag the low very slightly and then decide to go up, you would buy above the top there. This is a good buy because this will go. But if they drop some more, any drop you have to trade is a short-term trade. It's just going to drop, stop, consolidate, drop, stop, consolidate, and then it's going to take off to the upside. I don't see long-term downside in this, but I see a correction. Can they go like this? A deeper correction like that? Possible. They can go deeper. I don't see any reason for them to go deeper because we've got a very nice consolidation here, and this is a sharp wave up. That's not a very slow wave. So this is just a medium-sized consolidation, which means they're not going to break this low. I don't think they should break the low. If they do go break the low, not my problem. I wouldn't be in the buy. I'm looking for a buy, not a sell. Right? So if I'm wrong about that and they drop below the low, which means it's a pattern I'm not looking for that is in the making. It's not formed as yet. It's still in the making. Because there's no pattern that breaks that low and then go back up, right? it will have to be that they're making a more complex pattern, which you can't forecast it ahead because you don't know, you don't have enough reasons to think it's going to get more complex. When you start getting enough waves in it that makes it more complex, then you said, okay, great, it's getting more complex. Now we'll wait for this to happen and then we'll get into trade. That's all. You can't know it's going to get more complex. You have to wait until it starts behaving and the pattern starts getting more complex, making more waves without a breakout. And then you come back, okay, good, this is becoming more complex. It's not a simple 1, 2, 3. And that's the only way you can know that. Got it? Same here. We were looking for a simple 1, 2, 3, and this should take off. So if you bought here, you got out somewhere here for that trade. Because by the time this started coming back down, you realize that, okay, it's not going, right? Time to get out, look for sell setups, which is what my traders do. Stop here, wait. If you get a flag, you buy. No flag, they make a new low. And that helped the punk cat very much. Can they do this for a while? They can. We'll probably do this. We'll retest the low and then go back up. We're still expecting this to go back up, at least for now. How would you know that you're going to come to make a more complex correction here? You wouldn't know that until they break out of here and start to reverse. Then you said, okay, well, if this impulse is not going, they make a flag here. That means they're going to drop. They make a flag here. You're making a much more complex correction. That's it. It's very simple. Now you're going into complex correction. Do we think they're going to go downside totally? I don't think so, at least not until we get a daily break and a daily consolidation under this. Otherwise, so that's just a pullback. And it's not like it's the first time they're pulling back, right? That's not the first pullback you're looking at. They still go back up. So as of now, we're still looking for this move. And this becomes a much better move now because if you get it from the bottom here, you're doing great. Now, can they break this here and make a much more complex correction, which means they break the low, go back up there, make a flat in the middle here, drop again, and then go? We get a bigger one? Possible. It happened here, right? If you look at this one, it happened there, and then they go back, make a new high. When they broke that structure, you thought they were going to fall, and then they make this the complex correction, go back there, but they still came down. It didn't change the structure. It just changed the internals of that wave pattern. A more complex correction. Can they repeat the same process here and then go back? Sure. We will have to wait until we have enough waves in it to make that decision. You know what? This is becoming more complex. So you get out of the trade you're in, take your profit, book it, wait for the next pullback, and then like we did in silver. We got out, okay, let it go make a new low and let's see what happens. Silver told you already what to do. You got out, wait now, you're simply waiting in the trade to see what it's going to do. You're not doing anything. Gold might not go very low. I don't think so. We saw this structure. I told you this was an incomplete pattern. They will have to pull back like that. And they did. So once they did that, we can look at this as a running flat, and this is a possibility to retest the top. Right? As of now, we're looking at it that way. What would be one other possibility that I still don't think is right? If this becomes a contracting flat and this is falling, I still don't see that as a possibility. So I think they should test the top. If they're going to go down bigger, they will have to test the top. But gold does not have a downside structure. There is no downside structure. We completed this one. We think that's a contracting flat. We completed this as a possible contracting flat. 1, 2, 3. We're expecting them to test the top. Test that top and then tell us if you're going down. But what are the chances that gold just finish this move, just retest the top there and make a deeper correction after that before it goes? Well, we have seen that pattern also. Good thing is a lot of my traders were able to identify that pattern when I asked them, where have we seen this chart before? A lot of them knew where it was. And then this go make a new high. So if it starts to come down and you see a sell setup and you take it as a short-term trade, put it to break even, see how far it goes, move the stop as you go with it, and then when you were stopped out, look for the buy setup. That's all I think we can get. Is if it's going to go, it's going to go as a deeper correction, but I would like them to retest this top first, right? I would like this to at least come here, retest this top before they go. That will complete this pattern and then drop, right? So I'm not expecting them to go down right now. I think this is going to go higher at least first. Go to one higher place here, tag that up and then turn. So if you get a buy setup here, which means if you get a flag here, you can look for the buy. Break the top, move your stops. right? If it drops lower, not until it breaks this low would I be interested in a sell. And I still don't see that possible happening right now because I'm not looking at this as a contracting flat. Those are rare and they don't happen so often. Euro yen. Okay. Euro yen was a trade I was into. I think you remember when I was in the drawdown in it, I bought it somewhere here and then it went in the drawdown and then it came back here and then it did this and I closed it slightly for profit. Maybe a little too early, but I knew once they break that top, they're going to go into some consolidation or pullback and they actually go into consolidation, which means I came out where I would have come out anyways, right? So the next trade is this one. And you can probably get it from the bottom there if you're lucky, if you know how to buy, if you know what the setup should be, if you have a good strategy to trade it from there. If not, you might jump in and watch it come lower, right? If the strategy doesn't say buy and you jump in, you watch it come lower here and then go, right? I still think they have to go above that top, which means 1-1. We're getting a good consolidation here for upside. So if they break, you definitely want that trade, right? If it breaks to the upside, that's a good trade. Euros, told you they're going to make one more up, right? They made one here. They're going to do this and you're going to get one more up. Now, is that all? I don't think so. They'll still probably test the top and then come, right? They don't have to test the top. Again, this could be another contracting flat. The problem with contracting flats is that they're very difficult to forecast. If you make an assumption that that's a contracting flat, you would look for a sell setup. And then they go break the top, come down, and all you had was a regular flat with a pullback inside of it. So pullback inside of a regular flat and the impulse going up is normal. So you don't make forecasts for contracting flats so early, right? If you're going to get a sell setup, it's going to be way lower, and don't worry, you will get into the sell setup. What you're looking for is one more up, and then you start looking for that sell setup. So you've got an impulse, you're making a correction, they break the top, start to go down, you look for trade setups. Is it going to be a simple 1, 2, 3, and then you sell and it goes? Well, if you're lucky, if you sell at the top there and they go straight down, you're lucky. But if you sell at the top there, they come here and you realize that the pattern is getting more complex. You need to get the hell out of it, take that profit, and wait for it to go back up, or either buy it, but wait mostly for it to go back to sell again. And if at that point you realize that they're going to get more complex, you get out of it and let it go back, and then you sell again. You're trying to sell it to the downside because you're not looking for a buy setup. Right? You want to go in the direction of the bigger trade. If this is difficult to understand, you should stop trading live, because anything else you're trading will lose you money. You've tried many of that before. Right? And there's a lot of people out there already promising you that if you trade support and resistance, you're going to make a lot of money. They just can't show you a live account where they trade support and resistance because it never works. They will show you 1 or 2 trades that they win, spot trades, right? They'll take a snapshot of a trade that they win and show you, hey, look how good my support and resistance work. Yeah, show me the whole account. Right? Watch this here again. We're getting correction. It's going to go back up. They're probably going to drop here, but they're going back up. This is pretty similar to the Pound Oz, except the Pound Oz already show you how it behaved, right? The Euro Oz, sorry, it's very similar to the Euro Oz, except you know what the Euro Oz did, right? This was our forecast that it's going to go back, and now you're seeing the very same thing here, right? And you're saying, well, do we know what this is going to do? Yeah, if they break that low, which means you get a sell setup here, they're coming back here before they go down. So it's either going to be a regular flat or a running flat. You wait and see. And then we're going down totally, right? Then we're going down totally. Could this turn out to be a long, drawn out running flat? Possible. Then you just wait for it to happen. You can sell from the top coming down. See, it's pretty easy. It's not difficult. You can. Okay, we still haven't broke the structure. We're expecting this to go down, but we don't know what's happening in there as yet. There are 2 options when you see pattern like that. One is you're making some kind of an ending diagonal structure. You're making an ending channel structure. You will go back up and then drop. The second one is you already have a running flat in there making. And when I say a running flat, I mean a very complex one. If that was a simple running flat, we'll be in the trade already. So you have to be careful with this trade. I want them to break the structure, pull back here, and then I get into the sell. If you're selling from here, every time you come to the low of the structure, you take profit. Because until they break and make a pullback, you're not confirmed that, you cannot confirm that down move. But the down move, the bigger move is to the downside. I've shown you this already. I can show you one more time again. The big move is to the downside. And I believe that consolidation, the bigger consolidation, this one here, is completed here. See that? So all we are saying is within this impulse going on, will there be a pullback here and then drop? Or is it that the correction and they will just drop beyond here, make a small flag and then drop? Either way, you're looking for a sell setup. You're not looking for the buy. See? And this is your trade. Part of it already gone. So if you get that part, you're pretty good. You're doing well. Right? You just need to get the last part of it and then you're good to go, right? Let's go. Euro Swiss. Same here. We want this to go back up. It went back up. The whole thing is this one hasn't tagged the top. So if you get a sell setup here, take that with caution and put it to break even, because they might come here, go back, tag the top, and then come. There's a chance they can go from here and then we'll have a running flat. So is it going to do this or will it go do that and then come? Let's see. Let's go into it and see. Let's dive into the 4 hours. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to make a conclusion as the direction it's going to go. You just can't make it. You see all these sharp waves? You have to wait for them to complete the pattern. This would probably, if you ask me, basically I'll tell you it's going to do this and it's going to do that. At least that's for now. That is what we know it's going to do for now. Those are short-term trades and you probably wouldn't take them. So what you would do is you would skip this chart for now, wait for it to complete the pattern it's making, and then we'll get a very good sell setup. Euro pound, another correction, and then the drop. This drop, it's making another correction. You're likely going to get a drop, which means if you get a flag here, if you get a small flag here, you get one more trade here. When you break that low, you have to start moving your stop very tightly and take profit, right? Because after that, this thing is going to totally go up. If you guys keep your questions to the end of the webinar, I will answer all of them, every single one of them. This is the most transparent webinar you would ever be in. We answer all your questions, right? If you're having sound issue, it's your side. Somebody please type so that if he's having sound issue, he probably can't hear me. Somebody please tell him it's his side so he can go again. Same thing. Remember, we were selling Swiss. We were selling Swiss. We were selling Swiss. And then we said, okay, be careful. This is probably going to go back up, retest the top, and then come down. It's still going to go down. It's just that now you've got a structure that is retesting the top before you go down. Bigger picture, this has not changed. I don't think we're going to go back. I think this is the end of that correction, right? And this is the first impulse to the downside. We're probably in a running flat pattern right now, maybe even expanding flat, come to the top here, and then go back down, right? Now, if you buy here and they go to retest that up, good for you. You should take the buy. We don't know whether they're going to retest that up. I don't think they will. So if I get in the buy, once they break that top, I'm out of the trade, right? Or I'm moving my stop very tightly. You're getting a very nice buy setup here, by the way. See that? That trade looks very nice. Wait for it. At least take that one trade and then move your stop very tight. See if they're going to turn from there. I'm more keen on getting the sell, right? I'm more keen on getting the bigger sell to the downside, because the bigger sell to the downside is a huge trade. All the pound trades have that setup, right? The trade that I'm looking for is actually, if they do that and come here, that is the trade, right? If we get a flat in there and they drop. If they go higher and you manage to get in the buy, great, just move your stop, because once they break that, they're going to come. I don't see a pattern whereby they need to go break the top. There's no need for that, right? You already have a complete pattern that is good enough for them to start falling. Let's see what happens. If they will break the top, that will not be the end of the correction. That means we're going to much bigger correction and a much longer time frame correction, because that will not complete the pattern. That will just be part of a much bigger pattern. Pound yen, upside. I told you this was the one that was showing us that pounds are going to go up, and it turns out this one is the correct one. We should have listened to, looked at this one more clearly, because this one was showing us when everything was showing downside, and they were going down, but they weren't going down as an impulse. They were going down correctively. They all turned to make upside. This one was showing you the upside, and you got another upside there. All right, there is another upside here. That's a clear trade. If it happens, take the trade. Pound Oz was showing us downside too. And then they turned, this was going down very nicely. And then they turn, they broke out, and they make one more up. Okay, let's see. Do we have one more up there? Be careful. I don't think so. I think this is going to drop, right? So let's go into 1 hour and see whether it's going to drop. Right now, no. Right now, it looks like they want to go back up, right? This is just a pullback. They're getting a flag here, and you get a flag, take the trade. You see this flag, what happened? This is a bigger one, right? This is a bigger one. But you saw what happened. This might be a smaller one. If they come some more here, that would be a good trade. Retest the top, and then we'll see what happens. You see, they're just breaking this top. That doesn't mean that they're not going to go down. I'm still expecting the down move. The bigger picture is downside. Short term, let's see how far they can go. Short term, they can retest this top. That's the maximum I think they can do. If they go, they will probably retest that. And after that, definitely, if they do this, I'm a seller. That's a long-term sell. That trade will make you money if they tag that top and then decide to go down. Right? Same here. I think we finished the correction, but we might be in a much longer-term correction, which we'll have to see, because if they tag this top, they're coming back to at least this low, and most likely that will be the end of the structure. We'd look at that as a correction. That's the end of the structure and downside. Let's see. All right, let's see if that's what they're going to do. Punkat, I showed you this already, and you definitely want to get into the sell. There's no question about that, whether you're going to get a sell. On the 1 hour, you will probably have to wait some more for a flag. Wait for any flag anywhere, and then go with that sell. Right? Anywhere you get a flag for a sell setup, go with it. Let's see what happens from there, right? Pound New Zealand. They tagged the top. We told you to watch this here. This one here means we're going to get one more up, at least to this level, and that would be a running flat. We got an expanding flat. So you get a flag here. This is a must sell, and you'll probably get that trade this week. All right? You will very likely get that trade this week. This one is a nice one. I actually like it, right? You've got a nice one. And this, you've got a correction here. You're getting another correction there. If this drops to this level here, be careful, because they could go back up and then come back, right? This looks much sharper than that, but we will see. Take this sell and then we'll see. On the daily structure, we have completed the daily correction. This is the daily correction. Completed. We're dropping, that's your impulse, and we're within this impulse. So if you're taking this trade to this level, if it goes very corrective, which means it doesn't go sharp, it just go like this, we're going to retest the top and then drop. If they go very sharp, you're in that trade and you're retesting this low, which means you're not coming out of the trade. Now that is easy, right? I just give you a very, very clear vision of what you should do. That's pretty easy. I guarantee you, how many people we have? 92 here, and how many people we have on YouTube right now? Somebody take a look right now to how many people we have on YouTube, because next week I'm going to ask how many of you are in this trade. So how many people on YouTube? Somebody give me a quick view. How many people on YouTube? 179 plus 92, that's almost 260 something, right? 260 something people in here right now. I want to know, all of you should join actually next week with the link, so we can do a poll and see how many of you took this trade and how you managed it and how much money you made from it. Basically, how much % of your account you made from it. Doesn't matter what size of your account you're trading, because I doubt you have a $500,000 account that you there, right? Know how much % you made in your account. It's not easy to do. It's easier said than done. You can't do this if you don't have the knowledge of how to do it. So 160 something people in it, we will take the poll next week. About 171 to be exact. Let's say 170 of you. We will see how many of you did it. There are going to be about 6,000 people watching it on YouTube. We can't poll them, because some of them watch it on Friday. I don't know what's the purpose of watching these videos on Friday. It's pretty much useless to you on Friday. It's good for you on Monday. It's good for you on Sunday and Monday. So if all of you can get it to people on Sunday and Monday so that they can watch it, it will help them. On Friday, watching it is useless. You can only prove that it works or not, but you can't use it, right? Yes, only if you're studying, if you're trying to study it, but you can't. Let me just make this clear. Good question, Ivan. You can't learn wave analysis from this, guys. Ask the people who are doing the course right now. Any one of you doing the course right now in the group here, can you tell the people the difference? Just tell them the difference. Don't tell them what you're learning. Tell them the vast difference you've recognized from what you're doing the course and what you watch here. They're shocked of what they're getting there. I know, because they're giving me the feedback, right? What you learn in the course, you'll never get anything like that here. It's not even close. So don't take these are not studying materials. These are just basic my views. I know it looks like you're getting a lot. You think you're getting a lot until you do the course. So a lot of people who watch me for 2 years now are doing the course. Some of the guys, they watch these weekly outlooks for 2 years, and they're doing a course now, and they're like, damn, I should have done it a year ago. Actually, one guy wrote me that I should have done this more than a year ago if I knew it would have been this much difference. He pretty much thought he's not going to get big difference until the course is educating you. It's teaching you how to read the waves. I'm not teaching you how to read it here. I'm just showing you what I see. And that's a huge difference. If you think you're learning here, you need to take a course. It's absolutely, it's totally different. I get it from people every time we do it, and people who've been watching me for years, right? It might be a good direction in the market, but you're only getting 5 to 10% of the course. I don't think you're even getting that much. You're getting my view. That's not that. That's very little of what the course is giving you, right? So the course teaches you, right? It's like saying, oh, you know what? If I watch enough hockey games, I probably can play hockey. If you're watching this and think you will learn how to become a wave analysis trader, it's like watching any sports game and decide that if I watch enough of those games, I probably learn to play it. Theoretically, yes, you learn, you watch the players make mistakes and you said, okay, I will not do that. Once you get in the field, what happens? What happens to you if I put you in that field with those players? You're like, damn, this thing is not, it's not that easy, right? It never becomes that easy anymore. And that's what happened to traders. When I give them a chart, I said, okay, take everything off and now show me what you're going to do. And that's where the trouble starts. Exactly, anything. It doesn't matter what, whether it's cooking, whether it's trading, whether it's any profession. You can't learn it from watching videos. It's just not. You have to get in there and do it. You have to get the right training. Let people correct you when you make mistakes. Train you, tell you what you're doing wrong, how to correct that mistake, how to move on. That's the way you become professionals. And that is why the best teams in the world and the best players in the world and the best educators, that is why people go to university. You can read books and become smart. You can complete a college degree by just reading by yourself, but people still go to college because they want the professor there to guide them and to train them, right? The brightest minds in the world has been trained by somebody. They went to school, they went to college, they went somewhere. You don't just become the best lawyer in the world by reading books or watching videos, right? Watching those videos. It doesn't happen that way. But hey, if you're naive and you believe that, great, go ahead. You will eventually in a year or two, you will come to the conclusion that you need to be trained. And you need to be trained by the best, right? Not scammers. That's the whole thing. That's the difference. Let's go, watch this here. Take your time. Nobody's forcing you to buy anything. Just take your time, watch this here. That's a good one. So next week, we'll know 170 people, how many of you took the trade. Let's go. New Zealand yen. Okay, we got one. We're looking. This is a little short, so I wouldn't be surprised if they come back and go. But if you get a flag here, buy. Right, we're looking for a big correction. It could be that that's the running flat. It's over. It's going up now. If you get a flag here, go. If you don't get a flag, don't get into that thing because you would be surprised that they come back here and then go. I'm expecting them to come like this and then go. Stop, pull back. That's okay. They normally make a correction here, drop, and then go, right? That's okay. We've seen that. So don't jump into this buy until you get a perfect flag set up for a buy. If you don't, you'll end up in trouble because we're expecting. You see, when we get this, we told you that is going to go, come back here, and then go. These are simple patterns. If you know how to trade them, it's easy. If we get a good pullback there, a good flag or a good correction, that would be a good buy. Canadian, same thing. It's upside. Same again here we have. This doesn't look very impulsive going up, so there's a good chance you'll probably pull back here and go. Right? Because of the pattern we have. It doesn't look very complete. This doesn't look like the sharp move up, so be careful. We'll either get one out of two. We'll get one like this, which means we'll get a sharp one there and then go, or we'll get a deeper one and then go. Either of those will complete a pattern that we can work with. Right now, if you're in the buy, move your stops very tight. Swiss yen. Oh, this is another trade I was in. Remember, I was upside down on this trade. I said I'm not bothered by it. It has to prove to me that we're going to get a deeper correction. Well, this one also closed for positive. That is why you see the account move from 564 to 622 in 1 week, right? That movement was because all these trades that were negative last week, they actually not only closed for positive, they closed with profit. And then I took a few more trades that made me profit, right? So this up move, remember we were in the buy. I think the buy was somewhere here, and then we were in the drawdown, and then we went up, and I closed it somewhere here. It's in another drawdown. We bought just above this top. This one was, we were in this drawdown, sorry. We were in that drawdown, and then it went back and it came into another drawdown. And then it went up and we closed the trade. I closed trade somewhere there. Why? Because I think we're going for a bigger correction. It's not going as the way I want it to go, but it is still a very good trade to the upside. So let me just give you guys, I think about 2 weeks back, I told you I'm giving you a gift. This is your buy setup. You should buy somewhere in here because this is going to go up. How many of you bought that? Just type a yes if you bought that and got out for profit. Yes, if you bought it, got it for profit. Yes, if you bought it, and N if you didn't get. So it's a Y N if you bought it, but you didn't make profit. You should make profit. I don't know why you should make profit. So I think we'll get about 20 yeses. That's about all, right? And that was a gift to everybody. It's still going to go up, right? So if you got to see, we got about 20 yeses. That's about it. There's always about more than 200 people in these webinars, and the next couple thousand who watch it, right? So here's the deal. It's still going to go up. We'll make a deeper consolidation here now, which is good. We allow this to make a deeper consolidation, and then we're looking for that trade. This might be the fastest moving and the bigger one. We definitely will have to break that top. So when they break the top, you will move your stop into profit. See, 200. I was supposed to see anything like 200 yeses. You don't see that, right? Don't buy signals. They don't work. It's that simple. If you get a signal from somebody, you will never be able to trade that signal. So simply don't buy it. It's a waste of your money. You would lose your account doing that, right? I know all the signal sellers are going to come on this video and they're going to try to troll as much as they can. I don't care. They have to post their account if they want to troll me now. The trolls are getting less because when they start trolling, I said, hey, can you please post your account? Just post your account so then we can deal with it, right? And most of the people I actually click yes are in my group. I can look at the names who are here and I can see most of them are already in my group, the people who click the yeses. They're not the people who are watching the free webinars only. So watch for this. I think we'll get a consolidation here and then we'll go. Let's go. Aussie yen. Consolidating, very nice trade. Let it come. You want one more drop here and then you look for that trade up. So you may get a sell and then a buy. Aussie Swiss. Also, there's a possibility. Wait for a flag here to buy. If they drop lower, look for a flag here to buy. Wait for it to start up move, make a flag, and then buy. Don't ignore the sell. I don't think you should. I don't like this sell, right? But I don't think it's going to make a sell now. This is enough for it to go back up as a contracting flat. But if they drop, I don't think they're going to drop far. Very often, they'll just break the low and go back up. Now, if you get a good sell setup, you may want to take it because you never know. They might come here and then decide to go back up. We have seen that also, right? 1, 2, 3. Way down to the bottom there and then start to go back up. So if you see a good sell setup that you think, well, I'll manage it for break even. If it doesn't go, then great. Go ahead. Short sell, upside after that. Aussie, New Zealand. This was another trade I was in upside down. I think all of you remember it. And I told you what it is going to do. And I told you exactly why it's going to do that. So I looked at this pattern. I said, guys, this pattern is incomplete. So when we bought here, and it started to move, we think they're going to go there. You will have to get out of the trade because then they're going to go back down. And then you start to look for the buy. Well, they actually went there. I got out of the trade, not at that spot. I actually got out of the trade somewhere here, which means I got out for positive because I bought it somewhere here. So I got it for positive, not the trade I'm looking for. That is not why I bought it. So that's a break-even trade for me. I think it's only $1,000. So I call it break-even trade, right? That's a break-even trade. Pull back. Went back. I didn't buy because we didn't break the low. It needs to break the low. I actually am buying here, so I can tell you what I'm doing. Let me see how many of you are going to do it. This is a signal I'm giving you, a free signal. Let me open my trade and show you. So we'll have to go to trading. We'll have to go to orders, and you see Aussie, New Zealand order buy limit, 15 standard lots, 10422. I'm giving you my trade for free. I should never do that, right? This is my trade. I'm not telling you to take the trade. You can take it if you want. My order is 03. I think 04. I think I'm a little higher than that. What is the exact price? No, 0334. Sorry, 0334. 0333. That's exactly where my order is. 0334. Put it like this. One more up. Yeah, somewhere there. 34. No, not 41. 0334. 34. 34. 37. 34. That's it. That's where my order is. See? 15 standards, because once it breaks that low, I want that trade to the upside. What if it goes lower than that? I think your first question is, why the hell would you buy there? What if it drops like this? Well, you see, you will say, what if it drops like that? I will never say, what if it drops like that? Because the possibility for it to drop like that is so rare. And even if it drops like that, guess what it's going to do? You see, you don't know what it's going to do. I know what it's going to do. It's going to do this. Because if it breaks this low, they will go back up and then they will come down. So I'm not panicking. I would make money out of that trade. And I'll show you, right? You'll get to see it. So you don't have to worry about whether I'll show you or not, right? I'm showing you my account every week. So you will get to see that trade. Let's go. That's a gift you get for being here, if you like it. I'm not saying you should buy it. I'm showing you what I do. When I show you what I do, that's a gift for you to see what I do, right? You should treat it as that. If you want to take the trade, it's your own call. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not a signal service, guys. I don't give signals. Many people wrote me and say, hey, would you like to give us signals? I'll pay you €100 a month. I'm like, don't waste your €100. Because at the end of the month, I will make money, but you wouldn't, right? And the most of you know that. If I start to give signals, honestly, I think more than 100 of you here will sign up for it, right? You could actually put a Y if you will sign up to take signals from me. Give me $100 a month. How many of you would do that? Let's see all the Ys come now. If I start sell signals to you for $100 a month, how many of you will buy? Only 10 people? Come on. I've done that. Right. I know a lot of you would buy, but then you wouldn't make the money I make. That's the problem. You should not. I would not do that. I will not sell signals to you because you cannot trade them. You cannot manage them. You will just make a lot of pips and I will make money. I know that for a fact. That's why I don't do it. Right? It doesn't matter if you're in the London webinar. If I start selling signals, you will have to buy it if you want to get it, right? It doesn't matter that, right? That would be separating, but just, it wouldn't work, guys. I know, I've been offered many times to do that. And I've been offered by company that have, there's one company in the US, I don't want to use their name here because, you know, for different reasons. So that guy, they have this company that sell courses, and they have over 100 different courses they're selling. They contact everybody who is selling any course anywhere and said, okay, we have over 100,000 subscribers, and you make your course and give it to us, and we will sell it, and you give us 20%. Some setup like that they have, right? You do it, you give it to them, they sell it to their 100,000 traders. Hey guys, you're already selling over 100 courses on your site. I look at it. He said, yeah, people buy it. The same people keep buying more and more courses. I said, are they making money? He said, well, we don't know that. I'm like, but you keep selling these people stuff. You don't find out if they're making money with it? He said, well, you know, it looks like we have a lot of success because they come back and they buy more courses. I'm like, well, if they're coming to buy more courses, it means they have learned nothing from you, right? I'm not joining you for that purpose. I don't want to scam people. So they were telling me like 100,000 people they have that they can sell to. Eh? Over 100,000 people. They offer me, you put your course here, we will sell it to these people for you. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. I'm interested if the guy I trade is making money, right? They have a different system, and they, you know, you can make a ton of money selling it through them. Especially if I do a couple of webinars and promote it, that would be helpful to it. I'm like, no, thank you, not interested. Wouldn't work. That's not the way you should do it, right? So watch this. You're gonna get a good trade here. If you get a flag here, we'll get a good trade to the downside. Ignore it. Look for the buy. Right? If it drops straight through your price that you put the entry, don't worry about it, guys. If you know how pattern move, you're not worried about it. Yeah. That's what I want. I like to see all of you make money. 12% up only in silver. Great. Well done. That's the reason why I'm doing this here today. It's not to make money from you guys. It's to help you make profit. If anybody thinks otherwise, it's up to you, right? But that's the point. Help traders. Aussie CAD. This one is in a big sideways move. We thought this was going to go up, right? We thought that one was going to go up. Didn't go. This one is pulling back. It's still going to go up on the long term, but it's a very, very long term trade, and it's very, very complex pattern. You can see that. It's still going to go up. You will have to wait for this to break now. And they're going to go there. But you can see, right, how this one went down. Right? You can see how this one went up. And you can see how this one came down, right? They're not moving very nice. So it's not, you're in a sideways movement, that's why. You really don't want to trade this. Let's put this here. When it really starts to move good, that's when you can trade it. But right now, it's not that tradable. They will still go back up, right? Actually, the lower it comes, the better that opportunity for a sell, for a buy comes in, which means once they come here and break this low, that becomes a good buying opportunity because you're going to get a very sharp one up. We actually bought this one here from this point here we bought, right? I think most traders got out somewhere here, or they got out across here, right? So you might get a very good one in this. So look at this. Oh, New Zealand CAD, let's go. New Zealand CAD, same thing. You're in a sideways move. Where do you think it's going to go? Here and then probably up. So you've got one, you've got two, wait for it to come here and then wait for it to go. All right, this one is pretty easy. This is not a difficult one. Can we go much lower than that? Possible. If you look at the bigger picture now, you're saying, okay, well, they can actually come and retest this low here now before they go, because I think that might be a running flat there. You've got a smaller one here. See that? You've got an impulse, a correction, an impulse. You've got a bigger one here. This actually is a nice trade. They might retest that low. Take that sell. Keep it, because they might retest the low before they go back up, right? So you're getting a very nice trade to the downside there. I'm interested in this one, as much as I'm interested in Punk CAD as well. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, it's not going the way we want it. It's gonna go, but it's just not going the way you want it to go. Wait for a correction here. I think you're getting a correction here, and then you probably get the one up. If they drop lower, they will test the low before they go. So ignore the sell. If you get a sell set up, it's gonna be, it's not you. I wouldn't take this sell because it's anywhere they can stop and go back up. The bigger trade is to the upside. CAD Swiss, same thing. See on the daily, you can see this very nice move. You're looking for it to go back there. Let's go into 4 hours, see if you have a trade there. You might just get the trade because you're getting consolidation in here. You just have to wait. There's a lot of consolidation. This might come back here first and then go, right? That would give you a perfect flat setup for the upside. So stay out of this for now. Copper, you want to look for a sell setup. It doesn't matter how high this goes now. You want to look for your sell setup, right? Because this one is actually, you're making that move down and you're correcting this move here. Remember, anybody want to tell me where we had a running flat like this and it went pretty high and people were getting crazy when I was telling guys this thing has to go down? Anybody want to remember which one? It actually, the C wave was going down, not up. The C wave was going down and it went pretty low, right? Before it go back up. I know you guys remember that one, right? Swiss, dollar Swiss, good. You guys got it. So I was going to show you, but a few people remember it. Dollar Swiss on the daily with that one. And just keep dropping, and then boom, you remember that trade to the upside? Let me show you so you can remember it. You guys have good memory. You're following this. By the way, you're in my group, right? Adam is in my group. Let's Ivan. I don't know. I don't think Ivan is in my group. Adam is, right? So Swiss. Remember when we were doing this daily one, the top here, this one, right? We anticipate that they will just break this low and then turn, and then they drop before they go back up. So the more they drop, the better to trade. The same thing here with the copper. Let it go. Let it go up. It doesn't matter how high they go, as long as they haven't broken that top. It doesn't matter how high they go. You look for the trade to the downside, and it becomes a better trade for you to the downside if they go higher, right? That's a running flat. This will be an expanding flat, not a running flat. And you would look for that trade. It's really nice. That would be a good sell. Natural gas. Okay, you're getting a small flag. We were expecting something better, but you're just getting a small flag here, and you'll get downside. So probably once they break this top here, you can start to look for a sell setup. Short term. US oil. Okay. At any point, this thing is going to turn to the downside, right? I think you can see that already. This is your first impulse. You're going up. This is your first impulse. They will drop like this, make a correction here, go back up there, and then drop, right? So at any point here, you start looking for your sell setup. You can take buys. If you get a buy setup and you take it as short term, take your profit immediately, right? You should take your profit immediately, because after that, you're looking for a sell setup, right? If this drop with an impulse, make a flag, in this week, sell it. I wouldn't be able here to tell you that. I can't show you that while it's happening, but if you're here and it drops and it does this, sell that, right? Same here, same with this one. If you start to get this up, that was a short-term buy setup, take profit. All buy setups are short-term, take profit. You might be breaking for a sell there. Be careful. It might not be ready as yet, but if you get a sell setup, take this up. There's no sell setup there as yet. It's just one impulse going down. S&P 500. Yeah, this had a big expanding flat, but this was not the one I was looking at. And it's going to the top. They'll break the top, very likely. I told you that from the bottom here that they're going to go break the top. I think when we were saying they're going to go break the top, they dropped somewhere. One of this here dropped or one of that dropped. Or this dropped and one of the trolls were going crazy. This guy said this thing is going to go up. Look, it's coming down. Well, it's going up. That's the whole point. You look at the pattern and you know it's going to go up, not down. They're telling us that's an expanding plan. It's not a news event that is driving this. It's not a politician that is driving that. It's not the US economy per se, like what it's doing right now that is moving that. It's what it's doing in general. It's the economy in general, not only the economy, it's everything that is general. So when did this up move started? When would you know that this up move is going to happen? It's not like it reaches here and then suddenly, oh, let's go up. It started to happen in here. Once this starts to happen, you know they're preparing for that up move. This is what you guys have to get. When you see the market starts to do this, they're already telling you, hey, we're going to make a new high. So it's not that they're waiting for one specific news event to make that new high. They already know it's going to happen. If you understand the wave analysis, then you will know it's going to happen. And you don't get caught like the dumb people who decide, oh, wow, my God, this thing is going down. It broke my support here. Now I'll sell it. Right? Broke some support for them. So now they'll sell it. So they sold, or it broke the 200-day moving average. Now it's time to sell. They sell it and then they watch it go back up and they panic and they close the trade for a loss. Because some moving average got broken or some support got broken or some crazy stuff they have in the chart got broken. Instead of reading the charts, all you have to read what they're telling you. And they're telling you, they're actually telling us that. They look at this. Same thing in here. We saw that it's going up. They're telling you what they're going to do. You just have to be able to read it correctly. Right? If you can read what they're telling, what the market is telling you, great. That's the whole idea. See? Same here, DAX. It's going to go up. If you're buying, you're doing well. DAX, I think the guy said also drop. And when this one dropped, right? When I said this is going to go up, right? And then they had that drop. Go check the chat. Some crazy guy. I think I removed him because he used curse word or bad words. Otherwise, I would have leave it to make him a lesson. Right? I like to make examples of people like that, how stupid they are. They don't know what they don't know. That's the whole thing. They're so dumb that they don't know what they don't know. They don't know how this works, and they believe they know. He doesn't even realize he doesn't know this. That's the whole bad thing. He doesn't even know that he doesn't know this. He thinks he knows something, and what it's going to do is make a correction and go back up. That's it. This is the difference. This is how you trade from how they're trading. You look at it and say, hey, this is an opportunity to buy. And they look at it, oh my God, the market is dropping. Oh my God, I need to be in this sell. Right? No, that's not a troll. He's probably trading too, right? Or he's selling signals to somebody. Right? Maybe he's selling signals to somebody. So you could be right. Let's go. Natural gas. We don't look at this very much because it's Nasdaq. You could actually look for a buy setup here. It's the same pattern. Nifty is being very kind to us. Nifty is just following the arrows, literally following the arrows up and down. So we told you it's going to come down and go back up. Well, we have both arrows for you to decide what you're going to do, right? Look for your buy setup and then look for your sell setup. This thing is being very, very nice to us. It just moved the way we expect it to happen. 1, 2, 3, come back here, go back there, come back here, go back there, and then come back here. See? Wait for a buy setup. Wait for your flag. Wait for the 1 hour, 4 hour flag, and then buy. You're getting a 1 hour flag there right now, I think, right? You're getting a correction, actually. That's a good buy setup you're getting. My traders are probably already in that trade, right? Yeah, we actually track this one every single move it made. We track the up move and we track all of this down, this up, this down move, this up move, this down move, that up move, and we're telling you what it's going to do. Every single one is moving. It's moving perfect. These are perfect patterns. You rarely get them like that. So I think there might be a surprise in it, right? Which means this one might go too sharp, much higher than we expected, become a running flat, which means tagging the stop. We're not expecting that, but it could tag the top, become a running flat, right? All of that is possible. Bitcoin. Remember when everybody was saying Bitcoin is going to the dogs at the bottom here, and I was telling you, no, it's going to go up. Those were the times when they were going crazy. You're in the buy, right? Watch for the buy. It's still a buy until it breaks that blue line, and then you will have to be careful. So even though you're getting pullbacks, don't let those pullbacks. I don't think that pullback is enough for a turn. Like I said, you'll have to be careful now as this becomes a flat. This was your first buy. Let me show you the buys we had. This was your first buy order. This was your second buy order. So if you're in there now, you may want to, you could take some profit, but there, because this could become a contracting flat. I don't think so. I think we might get a correction here and get one more up there. And then if we see that that is a flat, we will have enough reasons to decide whether that is a flat. We will look for one more low, and then we'll look for the upside. If we realize that is not making a flat, as a matter of fact, this is just making an impulse to the upside, you move your stop and you stay with the trade. See? So it might make a little bigger consolidation here. I don't think they're dropping it yet, but if you're in a trade, move your stops. Just move your stops to protect, right? You can always get right back into it. Not that you think, but just in case this is a contracting flat. Contracting flats are rare. They don't happen so often. But that's one good trade, two good trades. See, you're okay. You're doing well, right? Same here. This was the first entry we give. We didn't give more entries than this, but great. You broke the top. Now you have to be careful. There's a good chance they can go back down. So if they're going to go back down, Bitcoin might have a contracting flat in it. What you'll wait for is if they make a flag here and then go for the sell, right? If this goes back down one more, this is what you wait for to get the sell. And once it breaks the low, you're going to look for upside again. This one might be a good reason to show you that they're probably going to do that, right? See, this one is going like this. They're probably going to come and test the low, right? We might have already completed that pattern there. And we'll probably test the low and then go back up, right? So this is not going very impulsive. So be careful if you're in the buy, move your stops. We'll probably retest at least this low before we go back up. Let's go. LTC, for those of you who traded, my traders traded, right? It's also making a correction. They showed me from here, so if they're in the buy, they're making money. You can wait for the correction to over and then, stay with the trader, or you can move your stops, get out, and then get right back in. I think those are the ones we will do today because we don't want to go so much. I still leave time for questions. You guys have a lot of questions. Let's go with the questions that you have. Type them now. I will start reading from now. Could you please explain what do you mean by long-term trade and short-term trade? Long-term trades are trades you will keep for weeks. Short-term trades are trades you should get in and get out at the end of the impulse, which means a day or two or even within the same day. Do also make time prediction in your group approximately. We don't exactly make time prediction, but because we do it daily and we do it within the hours in our trading room, we can tell you to a very, very close proximity that this trade is ready to go. And we have a strategy that gives us the exact time when you should get into the trade, right? Could you please take a look at we can't look at more charts. Sorry, we'll be next week. Can you show us your trading room? Wondering how you access it. And we can't do that because we'll have to give you access to the trading room, and you can't have access to my trading room unless you're in the room, unless you're part of the course, right? The way it's run is that once you get an access, you get a permanent access to it. Is just access. One second, guys. My son wants to come here. Give me a second. Okay, he stopped knocking, so we'll just let him go. I'll finish off and then go do it. Is your Saxo trading flow for posting charts going to work? So no, I will not post charts in Saxo because when I post charts from TradingView onto any other platform, what happens is that the chart remains small, but a TradingView, I think I posted one on this thing on Twitter once, and you get a very big TradingView thing comes out, and the chart just remains as one line, so it's not worth it. Right? If you ever find a better chart that you could use to post, then I'll be willing to use that. But for now, we'll have to use TradingView. That's the good chart. The charting package is good. It's just I'm not using their social site, which, by the way, is not worth using right now unless they start changing things there. Right? If they changed up and then maybe I don't think I'm going back there either. So that's out of it. Bitcoin just dropped. That's a little drop, but that's not a drop. It's just basic movement and corrections. Then How about Euro USD? And watch the webinar. We did them already. Where can those who just joined for the first time find you on Facebook? My ProWave page. Here is the page. It's ProWave Trader. You can find it. You will find me. You'll see my photo. Make sure that you see that that has everything about me and that it's me. Right? If you're not sure, send me a message. I'll tell you how to verify that it's me. People who write me in Skype also, I let them verify. If they want to verify that it's me they're getting access to, then they get to do that. Right? Allow them to verify it. I give you a way to verify so that you're not being scammed, because there's a lot of scammers out there. We know that. Can you make profit by looking at the charts once a day? Yes, sure. You can make profit not by looking at the charts once a day, but by doing your analysis once a day, finding the trade entry and taking the trade. Okay, my son is getting hysterical. I'll stop YouTube and then I will go, right? Let me just stop the YouTube. They're sharing. YouTube live.